Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. This is Fluxtaposed episode 269, recorded on July 2nd, 2019. On the docket today, let's finally get Netflixation out of the way. Around the Web and Whatchuplayin, featuring Purple Rain and Super Mario Maker 2. And as always, we will close out the show with that sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the show. That playlist is fire!
It's always good.
I love it. I love it so much. Welcome to Fluxtaposed. It is Tuesday night. I am happy to have you here. Maybe you're watching live. Maybe you're listening at home. I don't care. It's all good. I am Jason Lacey, and I am joined by my favorite co-host, my only co-host, Mr. Lucas Rose.
Tip of the beanie to you, but I'm not wearing a beanie, just a regular hat. So I can't tip my beanie.
But it's so American.
It is. You know,
I feel the patriotism burning from your red-hot American blood.
I hate this hat. I had to buy it. Is the only option at Target they had.
You should wear it like that.
And I needed it for work, so now I have it. I am ready to party.
Oh my gosh!
There we go. Now I'm party boy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Dude Reno's here in the chat. What's up, dude? The dude. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm feeling good. It's Tuesday night. First off, everyone, we stream this show live to Twitch, twitch.tv/Fluxtaposed, 9 p.m. every Tuesday. Love to have you join the party in the chat, in the live show. We'd like to have fun. We'll hope you have fun too. Come along with us the ride. Join us on Discord, fluxtaposed.com/Discord, to get you that invite to our little slice of Discord heaven. You can hear us bitch about not having any money and storms, and Lucas doesn't post sweaty selfies anymore. He's always like, look what I'm grilling. Got some chicken going.
It's true. I I'm getting all sweaty.
I haven't seen a Callow workout picture in a while either. We've all fallen off the wagon.
It's true.
All done.
I had a kid, so at least I could have a built-in excuse.
All the time.
Yes.
I don't know how long we're going to keep this going for, but we have our community survey in the show notes. We'd love to get your feedback, your input, to help us shape the future of Fluxtaposed. Fun little fact about that. I said, hey, fill out the survey. We'll give you a copy. We'll give you a chance to enter to win a copy of the One-Ups Volume 4. And then I remembered last week that the survey is anonymous. So I have no way of knowing who has entered and who has not. So I'm going to have to think on that a little bit. I have to think on that a little bit. You'll have to figure out a way to fix that. And lastly, please help support the show if you're so inclined on Patreon, patreon.com/Fluxtaposed, which a lot of awesome people already do. And we will thank them at the end of the show because they are the Flux Legion. And they're part of why we're here. So thank you. Now that that's all the way, let's do the show.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're done.
Yep. All right. Feels good.
Like week 2 of our kind of revamped format. I hope everyone we're gonna get it's gonna tighter, a little snappier. I hope everyone enjoys the journey. You know,
make it tight.
Maybe. I don't know, Lucas. You know, we always like to invite people, as we used to always say in the show, pull up a chair. This is our little slice of life podcast. We don't focus on games. We don't focus on pop culture because we're not good at any of that. We just want people to get to know us, hang out, you know.
We're also not good at the things that we focus on though. So,
I mean, we're not good at life. That's why we share it with you all. So you can feel better about yours. You may forget your problems and be like, you know, I think things are bad for me, but these guys don't have a freaking clue. I feel better about myself now.
I have a proposition for you.
Ooh.
Will we just change the name of the podcast to The Sad Sacks?
No, that's a terrible name.
No,
that's as bad as the name if I came up for the episode title earlier today. That ranks right up there.
But it was a little bit more poignant than the 100 word.
When
title.
You are as inspired as I hope everyone else is, once you've seen Swiss Army Man, you'll achieve greatness.
We'll get there.
We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get
That's
there.
coming up on Netflixation. But first, we got to do a little RL.
Yeah.
Tell you about what's going on in our lives, Lucas. I
Sure.
don't got much here.
Okay.
I got a little food hack.
Ooh.
I'm particularly pleased with. So Sunday, you know, my wife had some stomach upsetness most of the day, so she wasn't really eating a lot. My son had leftovers, and she wasn't gonna like have anything special for dinner. So I had to like get my son's food ready, and I got to whip up something for me. And I was like, okay, single meal. I haven't done this in a while.
Peanut butter and jellies.
I don't want to waste one of our prepared items from the list.
Yes.
I want something, one portion. What can I do here? I like go into the pantry and you look, go into the fridge, you look, nothing's checking the boxes. And I'm like, I see some whole wheat rotini noodles. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whole wheel rotini.
Gross so
spiralies.
far.
Okay, got those. I got some canned pasta sauce. Still in the jar. Pasta. You know, it's still in the jar. It's still good. It's still sealed. Hasn't been sitting there forever. Hasn't been in the fridge, like partly opened.
Those two things usually go together.
So those things were good. But I'm like, I don't have any. I want some protein in there. You got to have some protein.
But
I didn't have any ground turkey.
I like where this is going.
I had some frozen turkey patties. I was like, no, that's not gonna be an option. But I had it. But then
awful.
I remember I have an abundance of breakfast sausage.
Oh.
So
yummy.
take the breakfast sausage. This is raw, uncooked. And at first, I was taking the time to deliberately slice open the casings, which was a terrible idea. Then I realized that you can just force the sausage up through the casing onto a plate. And then once I had a decent amount, I sizzled that up. Threw some marinara on there, and dude, it was really good. The breakfast sausage tastes really well with the sauce.
Well,
run jump stop, and the chat says breakfast sausage is 100% better than other sausage.
That's
got
true.
A really nice seasoning. And here's the thing, though, I really didn't want to look at my penis ever again that night, because after you see all that, you're pushing that sausage through those casings, you just get that idea.
It's what happens when people get their penises smashed. It came out like, you know how like in Donkey Kong, you squeeze the end of the banana and the banana just comes like right out. It's like that, but it's your penis. I eat.
And that's why this show gets a mature rating on it.
Exactly. We earned that rating, and we're proud of it.
But it was really good.
I use Italian sausage, and so it's breakfast sausage is like the second cousin of Italian sausage, I feel like. So this seems like a good bet to me.
It was delicious.
I would put money on that.
So maybe I'd do it again. I don't know.
Does kind of sound like a single guy. Like, I don't know. What do I have?
It was like the single guy. Like, I don't know what to do. I've got no food in the house. What can I make with ramen, duct tape, and water?
Gross. Probably ramen without duct tape.
That's that type of thing. And then I had that embarrassing but funny parenting story. So
I got two of those.
It was my grandpa's 93rd birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot. I was so busy at work. I wanted to call him because he's very hard of hearing. So you can't really talk with him on the phone.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I was going to call my grandma and talk to him through her, but I was so busy at work I forgot about it. And we went and looked at a house, and I got back home here yesterday, and we were just winding down before I put Aiden to bed. And my aunt texted me. She's like, "Grandpa's here at the house. If you're not busy." And I was like, in my head, I was like, "Shit, I didn't call him earlier." But then I underneath my breath, I'm like, thinking I was ever so quiet.
Yeah.
And as I set the phone down, dejected and disappointed in myself for being a bad grandson. I did FaceTime with them after I put Aiden to bed, which was really fun because my grandpa kept trying to talk to the phone. FaceTime video, so I'm watching close-ups of his ear. It was great. It's funny, but
Grandpa, shave your ears.
I did get to talk with them, but thinking my son had no idea what I said. All of a sudden, he's like, "Ha ha ha! Fuck!
Oh no!"
He kept laughing and repeating it. And I was like, "Oh no!"
It's every parent's nightmare.
This usually only happens to his mother, and now it's happening to me. And I was like, I need to change the subject now. And that's why I was like, "Hey, what's your fire truck doing here?" And then he forgot all about it. And he hasn't said it since. But I was just like, "Oh no!"
What color's your fire truck? Fuck! Oh no, no.
But it was the fact that he kept saying, because he said curse words before, but it's the fact that he said it and then thought it was hilarious. And he would laugh and think it's really funny, and then he'd repeat it. I was like, "Oh no!"
I mean, he's not wrong. It is a funny word.
It is fun to say, Aiden. So that's my fun. That's my fun this week.
Nice. Now, how did you discipline the boy? Did you make him kneel in rice for 30 minutes?
Yeah, give his penance.
Thanks, Run Jump Stomp, for the follow. Appreciate that.
Did I? This is totally off topic, but did I talk about The Sinner last week during What You Plan? I don't remember if I
No,
did. I
I
don't
think
I
you
did.
talked about
I'm
it in
gonna add,
Discord.
I'm gonna add. I think you're right. I'm gonna add that to my notes real quick. While
Good
you
Lord. Don't you hate that
serenade me?
when you think of something and you're like, wait a minute? I did that on a different podcast that I'm on. So my IRL, yes, parenting stuff. So video games, as my son likes to call them,
Video
games.
Video.
They have started to become a bit of a problem.
Like he wants to play them.
Yes,
like
way too much. He asks for them quite a bit. And it's partially my fault because I keep introducing him to new games. Like, it started with Super Mario Odyssey, then some of the Lego games, Lego City Undercover, then Lego Worlds, which we played together. He loves that one. So he wants to play them more and more. Now, since he's only not even 4 yet, that's not a very good habit to be getting into, regardless of your stance of screen time.
Do you plays mostly on the Switch then?
No, I have him playing on the Steam Link actually because I bought the Lego games.
Use those parental controls app, and then you lock that stuff down.
Yeah, that's true.
Down.
Unfortunately, I have to be the parent in this instead of making my Switch do it. So I have to.
Well, that's good of you.
Well, I mean, I guess it's good practice, and he needs that structure. That's what it really comes down to. So,
yeah.
Well, I knew this day was coming. I just didn't think it would be so soon. So what we've done, what my wife and I have come up with basically is some things that he has to do, such as he needs to eat a decent dinner because that has become somewhat of a problem as well. Eat a decent dinner, pick up all of his toys from the day because constantly they're strewn about the place and we go to bed with them all over and then we wake up and we're like, how did our house get like this? So he's got to pick up his toys now. He's got to take a bath, brush his teeth, and change into pajamas. And lastly, we read books for about 10 minutes. So what we do is my wife made this paper, and on it has all the activities. And then every time he completes one, he colors in a little bit of a train. So there's a train car there's an engine and then a train car for each activity. And he gets to color it in. And once the train is full, then after all those activities, so it's the last thing he does at night.
Then it's choo-choo.
Yeah, steam train.
Fun time.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets to play for about 30 minutes. And
well, then you got
then
that. You create a structure and a routine, right? And kids
yes, and expectations. Yeah, they do, apparently. So we're trying that. It's been day 2, and he still gets sad when the timer goes off and it's done. But it's gone a lot better, actually. So he still gets 30 minutes as compared to like 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it was before, depending on the day. And there were days where we wouldn't even be at the house hardly for him to play. So it all just kind of, it depended on the day and it depended on, how we were feeling and how tired we were and everything. So that's kind of what led to this. So there's structure for everybody involved. Now we have a set time limit, and I did tell her, I said, I kind of feel like the weekend should be a little bit different. Maybe if he does a perfect week where we fill in all the train cars, maybe he can play for a little bit of extra time on the weekends only or something like that. But we'll get to that after we have this down. It's only been day 2. So, parenting. Oof.
I agree with what Bill has in the chat. He has Google Wi-Fi and automatically set to turn off Wi-Fi that kids use at certain times, and it's like, my son's 2, so I got a while before I need to worry about that. But like, I know Donnie does the same thing. Like, he locks his whole house down when he needs to, and like DEFCON 12. You're not, especially when he's like, if he's streaming something, he's like, nope, nobody else is getting on the internet.
Yeah,
but I think that's important to have. I mean, it's to have those. You got to have. Sometimes, I mean, you have rules that you enforce as a parent, but unfortunately, that only goes so far. Especially as your kids get older, sometimes, and they're going to try to go around your rules.
See, I think that's where that comes into play because, like I said, he's only 4, so to me that wouldn't work very well because he would just tell me to fix it and all this other stuff. Then I'd have to lie to him and be like, it's broken, that whole thing. So when he's old enough to understand and then he starts working around what I have in place, then I think it's time to set in those restrictions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, now for a story that I feel pretty badly about.
I'm intrigued by the snippet that I get.
Yeah, so I became that dad is the snippet.
That
Um, so we had a day where we had to go to the mall, and I hate the mall generally, but we
mall
went
by me or Woodland?
Woodland. So
Ghetto mall. Got it.
yeah, well, middle ghetto, because then there's also the one next to it. What's the cross point?
Cross Point, yeah, but
I
they
don't
like
know what it's called.
now. I don't know. It's totally different now. I love. You know what? I like going. I don't know. Have you been out to the outlet mall?
Not
Tanger?
really. Tangers
See,
or whatever.
Tanger, because not only do you
Terrible
got the
name.
discounts, but I mean it's all outdoor. You know, it's all this. It's got the outdoor section, so it's great
Ooh.
because Isaac. I can see Isaac because Aiden loved it because he can just run all over the place, and they have
Yeah.
a playground, and they got some rides.
I've only been there
and
when there was like 1 million people. So
there's always really like, a lot of people, especially now that the weather's nice. But it's nice because it's all open, and then you know when your kid's like loud and rambunctious, you don't like it's
you don't feel as
it's
bad
more,
because
there's
you're
more
outside.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, so that's a nice venue change. So
No, we haven't been
that's my
there,
suggestion
but,
for you.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try that. But we had a specific goal that we had to accomplish, and that was shoes for this damn wedding. Stuff was on sale. We had to look at them.
When is the wedding, by the way?
October, so it's coming
Okay.
up.
Oh, that's right. You can see some said, oh, they're getting married. Yeah.
Yeah. So so here's what happened. We were in the mall. This is the first occurrence. We were in the mall, and I was pushing the stroller, and Isaac was walking with my wife, who was right
Very
next
good.
to us. And I hate this stroller because it does not go in a straight line. It has a tendency, like when you correct it, it has a tendency to continue in that path. So if it's going to the left, I'll kind of push it over to the right, and it continues off in the right.
That sounds like a mission for our DIY channel.
Maybe. I say we just break it, and we have to. No, I don't want to buy a new one. Never mind. I don't know. We use it so infrequently that I'm just like, we got to use the stroller. All right, whatever. Well, he kept doing this jumping thing where he was jumping on the tiles, and he kept not checking where he was going and getting slowly closer and closer into the stroller, which had our daughter in it. And we both were like, Isaac, you need to pay attention to what you're doing or you're going to get hit by the stroller. And sure enough, he wasn't paying attention, and he biffed it. And because I was correcting it, it looked like I ran it into him, and my wife was like, did you just run into him, like, to teach him a lesson? And I'm like, no, are you serious? Do you really think I would do that?
Yeah,
I was actually hurt
does.
that she would think that. I was like, wow, babe, you really think the world of me, don't you? That I would just punish our kids by being like, well,
All right,
this is what
time
happens.
to build some character, son.
Yeah. Stroller
Mad
goes
Max,
flying.
yeah.
Yep, basically.
Say hello to Thunderdome.
Gosh, he got chromed. So he fell down. He was fine. But I bet to anybody around, they were like,
Immortal Joe.
they were just, yes. They were looking, and they're like, did that guy just hit his kid with a stroller? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that's because if my wife thought it, you better believe somebody was looking at that and thinking that I was running over my own kid with a stroller. So
I mean, that sounds like you. I mean,
I know.
to me.
I usually do. I'm a very violent guy. And then we have to do grocery shopping after this. Oh God, grocery shopping, right? Anytime you have to do anything before grocery shopping with your kid or kids, it's a long day. It's bad. It's hot outside. It's horrible.
so yeah, that's why we did curbside. That took advantage of all June long. It was $5. All they charged. We're like, yep,
Nice.
lifesaver. Because
Nice.
then one of us doesn't have to go to the store
Yeah.
or
that's
with the
true.
kid. So
That's true. Well, we
But-
weren't shopping at Meijer that much recently, but lately it's been more and more of an occurrence. So when you get those diapers you need, and then, we got to get this and that and the other thing, and non-dairy stuff, that type of thing. So we were in the store, and we were almost done with our shopping trip. And I was using the scan thing because I was thinking, all right, if I scan all the items, because Meijer has this thing where you can scan your items as you go. And then when you get to the checkout, they just scan 3 items, and then you're done. You just pay. And you're
further
done.
away for us to do the jobs of the employees.
Pretty
So-
much, yeah.
So that's how it works. You scan everything, and they have to scan 3 items, and
3 or
hopefully
4.
those 3 items match up with everything in your order, and then
Yeah, it depends on how many things you get. I think if you get like 5, they only scan 1. But
that must be some sort of percentage or ratio or
yeah,
something.
yeah. So we're doing that, and the problem with this is you have to have your phone in your hand the whole time. And if you're trying to push the cart and hold your
Well,
phone and
this
keep
is
your kid,
2019. You got to have your phone in your hand the whole time.
that's true.
Anyway,
At
I
least it
mean,
doesn't look out of
you got to
out of
be.
place.
You're ignoring your kid because you're updating your social medias.
That's right.
Here.
Yep.
You don't want to spend time with your family because
Checking
that's,
Discord.
You know,
Yeah,
you're
that's
on
way more
Discord.
entertaining.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at pornography, obviously, right in the middle of the store.
I mean, you're married. You have 2 kids. That checks out.
Yep. So I'm scanning these groceries, and I'm holding my phone in my hand, and Isaac is riding in the cart at this point because I told him, I was like, he was really good about it. I said, dude, just ride in the cart. We're gonna leave soon. If you ride in the cart, we'll get the hell out of here so much faster. So he is in the cart, happy as a lark, and he's like gesturing and like just being a kid, basically.
Seeing like Michael Jackson dancing in there.
Yeah, a little bit. And he was like waving his hands, doing a little impromptu dance or whatever. And he smacks my phone out of my hand. And here's the bad part. My immediate reaction. Oh, what? Go ahead.
No screen protector?
No. There is a screen protector case. I got this thing on lock. Dude, this thing is on lock now. I got this in like 5 different screen protectors layered on top of each other. Phone is fine. But the moment it happened, this is what I said. I went, Isaac! Like that. Like right in the middle of the store. I was that dad. I was that parent who used the... And I just heard somebody do that. They were like, if you don't stop getting in front of this cart, you know, that whole thing. I told you. You know, I can't even do it because I'm not really mad. But, you know, that voice like you hear parents get sometimes when they're at their wit's end. And he didn't mean to do it. And I immediately felt bad. And I was just like, is this what I've become? Am I that parent now who just immediately gets frustrated with their kid no matter what they do? Yes, Run Jump Stomp says, dude, it's going to happen because kids are exhausting, and it's true. It was a long day. You don't see, this is what it teaches me. You don't know what's going on in other people's lives, and none of us have any room to judge. Not really, because we're all living in our own little bubbles. We don't have time to worry about what other people think about us. We're just trying to make it through without our kid breaking our phone. That's all.
Yeah.
That's a moral of the story.
Yeah, my kid's at the same point too, where it's just like some days it's just like he knows he's pushed you. And he's just like, all right, we're at that limit. Let's see what we can keep doing here.
That's just the end of phase 1. There's like 10 phases. Yep. Yep. So it was fun. It was a good time.
Isaac.
Isaac.
I love it. Did you get yelled at by your spouse that time?
No, she didn't. She was like, he didn't mean to. And I'm like, I know. And I didn't mean to use the voice, but it came out.
This.
I imagine I did this. I went, like, put my hands up to my face as soon as it came out. Like I swore or something.
My mother.
No. I dropped to my knees.
I can't say you become your father.
Wow, dude. Why'd you have to bring it down like that? It's true, though. It's true. That's a callback.
Like, oh,
see, nobody.
I was like, did I really offend him?
No,
Usually
never.
He makes these jokes, but
it's true. No, only people who know me partially well will understand that joke. But other than that, I don't know. Go back and listen to the show then. I don't know. I got salty.
I don't know. Well, that's IRL this week.
It is.
And it's only took us, 2 months to get to this point. We're finally going to do Netflixation, get that out of the way, and we'll get things back on track this month. So,
yes,
usually every month, the last show of the month, we do Netflixation, where we put a poll out there on Twitter, let you guys select from. Lucas and I will each nominate a show. We'll let you pick the winner, and then we watch it, briefly discuss it here on the show, and kind of give you a quick and dirty little thoughts on it. This month, our winner was Swiss Army Man. Something that I remember. Who was the production? Who produced this one?
As in, like, what was the company?
Yeah,
I know it's A24.
I thought so. Like, I end up liking everything that they
Yeah,
usually are involved, but throw it every way.
they're
I
like
don't
the
know.
Devolver Digital of movies.
Yes. Yes, it's like it's always offbeat and a little different, but I've always like appreciated everything they did. So, I remember when I was first seeing the trailers for this a long time ago, and it was just looked ridiculous,
Wacky.
and I never saw it, and it came to Netflix. So I'm glad we had the chance to do it proper here. So we're gonna give you a quick synopsis of the film, our likes, our dislikes, and then a 1 through 5 rating, and we'll be done with this. So kind
Spoilers
of quick.
ahead
We're
too.
not gonna spoilers as always. We're not gonna go in depth. We are not a movie review podcast. We just like to do this every once in a while, and let's face it, this is a good way for me to actually watch stuff because otherwise I'll either just play Smash Bros.
Play
Or
with yourself.
not really make time to watch something sometimes from my queue or something I might be interested in. So it's usually nice that it forces me to like watch something that maybe I wouldn't be interested in.
It's like that
I guess
structure
that too.
we were talking about. Everybody craves
Yes,
structure. You need it.
that's right. That's right. So our quick synopsis. I don't remember what's our main character's name. Was it Todd?
It was no, it was oh God, because they only say it a handful of times,
They only say it a
especially
handful
at
of
the
times,
end.
but our lead character.
Manny was Daniel Radcliffe's character.
Yes. Yes.
I'll look it up. You continue.
Our our lead character is on a deserted island. Has been there for some time. Got stranded, and he's about to commit suicide when he has a companion washes up on shore. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry
Hank.
Potter, Hank. Thank you. So Hank he reevaluates. He wants to live. He has a companion now, and he is going to. It's a journey of self-discovery in a way as he gets
Yes.
off the island back to the mainland, still lost, but then their struggle and their journey of, I guess, I would think really self-growth and self-discovery a little bit, and Manny's magic powers that get them back to society, rediscovered, and he even finds love along the way. I mean,
Manny
the actual
Manny is pivotal in his own epiphanies too for Hank.
yes, and
Like,
it's
he's
not
the pusher.
I mean, really, there's not in terms of plot, in terms of what happens. There's like from point A to point B, it's a pretty direct line. There's just a bunch of interactions that happen along the way.
I think it's because there's no real scenery change. Like there is a little bit,
Yeah.
like from jungle sort of to water to then you're just basically in the not even mountains, but
yeah, and it's very
forested region.
surreal. I mean,
oh no, it was the Forest of Endor. Actually, I think that's what you discovered.
it
is very
I mean,
surreal.
Just
it feels
the film. I mean,
yeah.
I think like what you said to me on Discord because I couldn't watch this until fairly recently. Like you said to me, it's like, well, it's either going to be you're in a great mood for it or it's not the movie. And I think that's the thing about this is it's going to be you're either going to enjoy it or you're going to hate it. It's going to be very divisive. It's going to be very divisive. And I saw when I looked it up afterwards that some people walked out of screenings.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all because I remember in the trailer a lot of flatulence and it did not disappoint. I mean, like the first scene, like, let me just say the very early scene, the way he gets off the first deserted island, he rides Manny like a human jet ski being propelled by the gas escaping from his corpse.
Yep.
It's majestic, it's ridiculous, and it's awesome all in the same moment.
It's true.
It was, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just ridiculous. Like,
Majestic is a really good word to describe most of what happens in this movie.
I mean, that's how that's like how they frame a lot of these shots with what this absurdness that's going on. You know, how many times have we seen them a fart propel them up into the air, launching or he shoves a grappling hook into his mouth.
That's
and hits
true.
Him
or the water that comes out of his mouth. He really is a Swiss Army man.
The water spewing from his gut was I likened that to the Team America puking scene. It was just
that's
it
true.
Just keeps coming and spraying. I mean, there's all these random. I mean, I don't know what to take of it. I don't know if Manny's consciousness is always just a projection that from like he says that it's something that he's hallucinating from hunger. Or if we're to believe that I guess it depends on what stance you want to take and how fantastical you want to get with the story. How much do you want to just let it go? I mean, because that's what you really, I don't know. This is not a movie for people that want to. You need a cut and dry like line. This is very much you have to like embrace the weird
Yeah,
in this film.
for sure. Yeah, because
You know,
otherwise you're gonna get turned off real quick.
I mean, like we said, the farting jet ski alone. I mean, that kind of sets the pace early on.
But it wouldn't if that to me wouldn't be enough. But I think the dialogue is also really good. Like the writing in general, the things they talk
Yeah,
about really help because otherwise it's just a bunch of scenes that are kind of funny looking. But they talk about because he has to describe everything about what it means to be a human to Manny, the corpse, because he forgot what it means to be human. He died, and then when he came back to life, he doesn't remember anything. So he's talking
can we
about
also mention that there is a compass that is Daniel Radcliffe's corpse erection?
yes, corpse erection sounds like a heavy metal band, by the way.
I think
Probably is.
that is my. I was trying to think of some band. That's my Killer Corpses cover band. Is there a
Oh,
band called
okay,
Killer
yeah, that
Corpses?
works. That works. Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse? Yeah, that's
Cannibal
a band.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space Corpse.
Oh my God. So I mean, there's all this. There's this ridiculous. I think we kind of went from synopsis
To
rushed
likes.
in
We're
here.
in.
We're
We're
kind
into
of talking about
likes.
likes, but I mean, I think it's safe to say like I like the weird. You know, in the acting. I think the acting was extremely well done, and I love.
Yes.
There's a lot of great visuals here. You know, I've noticed a lot of the films that A24 is involved with, they just look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just have like this clarity into the film and the way, like we see some panoramic shots, some great vistas. I mean, this was filmed in I'm assuming Northern California. I didn't look up exactly what cities it was, but it just mentioned it's filmed in California.
Yeah.
And that's what my guess was because it looks like we see a lot of redwood forests that they're in. I mean, that's why I made the joke. It looks like Endor, but that's what picture that, and that's what these
You're
woods that they're in.
you're right. Redwood City, Los Angeles, and Humboldt,
So
California. So.
like
Well,
gorgeous like
I think
countryside.
I
Like, I
think
would love to go to those forests someday.
I think they allowed the color of the movies to stay, whereas it feels like a lot of the times in movies, big budget movies we've been seeing lately, so, the majority of them are kind of still doing that desaturated, look and everything. So it's very interesting to see a colorful movie, but I mean it's also a comedy too. So you would hope
Hmm.
that it's not, I don't know, it doesn't look like a post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
scenario. But yeah, it's very well shot. The cinematography for what it is, like for the movie you're watching, and it just all adds up to more ridiculousness because you're seeing Manny the corpse who's starting to come back alive or to life, seeing Hank dressed up as this girl on the bus that Manny's supposedly in love with. And like it's all in slow motion, like they're falling in love and stuff, and so it's just so ridiculous, but it's also
Yeah.
done well. Like it's
How
not
about the
just a
karate
joke for
chop?
the sake of it. Oh god, the karate chop, or like when he uses him to cut rope, like it's like a half a
Shave his
second.
beard,
Yeah,
everything. I mean,
yeah,
there's just all this random. Like the soundtrack is awesome. I really like the
yes.
soundtrack. The music was great. I think I saw that in an interview. That Daniel Radcliffe mentioned that the director like composed the music on the set and they actually played the music on the set.
Oh
Which
wow.
we think so. Like I made the comment to you, it's like it sounds like Smooth McGroove, and some of the stuff does. It has like a lot of these
It's layered
acapella
acapellas. Yeah.
layers in there. It's just really abstract. Like there's a lot of weird in this movie, but I just love the way the movie's layered with weird, really. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I didn't know I would think of this because I thought I might be one of those people that'd be put off by it. But for me, I guess I just embraced it. You know, I just enjoyed the journey. So to sum up the rest of my likes, cinematography, the story, the acting, the weirdness.
Yeah.
I think I know I'm gonna have trouble trying to find some dislikes. Really,
So am I,
so.
honestly. I mean,
What
it's
do you
true.
think? Do you think the pacing was? I thought it was paced pretty well
Now,
too.
this is my second viewing, and I liked it even more the second time. Um, Obviously because I know what happens at the end, and so it kind of gives you a little bit of. It makes it more interesting to go back and watch the things that you kind of forgot about by the time you get to the end. Um, So to me, I think the pacing was good because I wasn't bored the second time. Like I still, granted, it's been like a year, but still, I remembered
Right.
most of it. I mean, and it was still funny and it was still good. So yeah, I would say it's solidly paced, and you're constantly interested in what's gonna happen next. Or at least I was, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I guess if I have to say to give a dislike, I think a dislike is for me is how divisive the movie is, because you can't just share it with. It's not like I can go, hey Jess, I gotta show you this movie. You're gonna love it,
but
because
is that
she's
a
not.
problem with the movie or is that a problem with your wife? I'm just putting it out
Well,
there right now.
either way, it can still be a dislike.
Guess
But I mean,
what? My
that's the
wife
thing.
wouldn't like it either. So
I'm not sure. Did Josh based on what I'm assuming he must have. I don't know. I
I
didn't
don't
see his
know.
comments in Discord if he liked it or not. So Josh, I'm curious to know your thoughts when you listen to this episode. So
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know, because like the slow mo, that some of that's like, I guess I kind of disliked like the whole, like the romance that kind of took place a little bit, because it seemed like, okay, I guess because maybe it could be somewhat predictable that he falls in love, gets emotionally attached to the only interaction he has. I guess if I have to be like, I guess that's to be more of a nitpick,
Like a nitpick.
because I'm like searching for something to say here as a dislike, But and we didn't mention the Jurassic Park music that's in
Yeah,
the
that's
da,
true.
da, 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 da. I mean, so that's all I could really give as a dislike, I guess, if I was hard pressed to.
I would have thought this isn't an actual dislike, but when I remember first seeing the movie, I thought Daniel Radcliffe in this, like hot off from Harry Potter, or even during Harry Potter, I don't
And he
remember.
doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
Not really.
he kind of does, but kind of
as an
doesn't.
acting, it would be a very challenging role,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
all.
true.
But I mean, you don't have to. You know,
But he kills
just
it.
he has to just make one eye bigger than the other and not speak and not move.
That's true. And he's,
Suppose they had to like digitally go through and crop out his blinking.
I don't know. But then they would have to do that with his breathing too, I would feel like. And he did. I watched this time around, and there were very few times that I felt like he was breathing. So I don't know. But I will say he nailed this role, because when he did have to talk, it was always, he sounded like a drunk person, basically. But his face is so static that he's like, I don't know, talking about how everybody, it's okay, Hank, everybody poops, like they're talking about how
everybody poops, Hank.
he's worried about their friendship because he thinks that Hank is holding secrets from him because he won't fart around him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like cutting to slow-mo shots of
Lucas, don't worry, I'd fart around you.
you do all the time. I mean, we're seeing close-ups of their butt, the butt of their pants,
his
and the
hairy
wind
butt
is
cheeks.
just, and the wind is flapping their jeans as he farts in slow motion in secret. I mean, I don't even know.
Tom Servo asked, would either of us ever want to be an actor? The reward from that job is odd to me. I just pretended.
If I felt like I could do it, yeah, and I feel like I probably could be okay, but I don't like the other side of it. Like, I think I would be upset if I got popular, because I don't think I could handle people talking about, like,
You?
oh yeah,
Being constantly under
Chris
scrutiny.
Farley or
Yeah,
Chris Farley or Zach Galifianakis. I'm just some fat funny guy.
I would enjoy the paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, for me, I just don't have that. I don't want to be the center. Like, I'm very much not a center of attention focus.
Yeah, me either.
Person. Like, I know maybe on this show or on Discord, I have like a presence there where I'm like, "Hey, everybody," blah, blah, blah. But in real life, I'm very much like not. I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, in films, you have to be as an actor, you have to be extremely. There is an ant in here, a really big one too.
My
That's
plan
not
has
good.
come to fruition.
That is Ant-Man. I guess I really am Ant-Man.
What about theater stuff?
I did theater stuff. It was horrible. I hated it because it's a live performance, so you're worried. You're like nervous the whole time.
We crush every live performance right here, week after week.
I'm trying to crush this fucking ant. Die. Die. You will not go home and tell your friends about my house and what is in here and all the food you can eat. I used to do theater stuff, but it's so like it just scares the crap out of me, dude. It's a live performance. You cannot screw up. You can take multiple takes with movies, and with movies, you're showing up and there's a bunch of people you don't know, so you have to have a lot of self confidence and work on yourself and your ability to be comfortable with yourself. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of getting to know everybody. It's not like you just walk in and start shooting the movie, but yeah, I think it would be really rough to begin with.
Just like the rough waters that Hank and Manny traveled
Yeah.
in the journey that was Swiss Army Man. I think I'm ready to rate it, Lucas. Are you ready to rate it?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Go ahead and rate it. There was something else I was going to say related to the movie, but if I don't remember, it's fine.
I feel I was a little hesitant of maybe going higher, but I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I question maybe a 4.5 for me.
Well, guess what? I will get your back there because I'm gonna go 4.5 on this one.
Oh!
I've watched it twice and I've thought highly of it. It deserves. The only reason why I don't think it's perfect, I guess, is because it is. No, I'm giving it a 5.
Oh, dang.
I can't come up with a reason. I love this movie. It's great.
So you just went from not a 4.5 to a 5?
To a 5. And I think there's a lot happening here that watching it a second time, this is what I was going to say. Watching it a second time really helped because I can see how everything that's happening is really being played out in Hank's head and everything. Like you can see how, oh, he likes this girl on the bus and he has no actual confidence, but he's talking as if how he wants to be. And there's a lot of psychological stuff happening.
He's like coaching Manny as he would want to be
coached himself. Yes, exactly. Then you think you have this figured out, but we haven't even talked about the ending where it's all true. You're sitting there waiting to see if he's crazy, if Hank is crazy, or if Manny is really alive.
Yeah.
And in the last minute, he just farts off, and we see him we see Manny smiling, and he goes off into the distance.
His gas gyrations on the water, and he just fart skis his way off into the sunset.
Yes, his motorboat is a completely different thing than your typical motorboat. So I'm giving it a 5. It's classic comedy.
Think of that when we talk about the gas was last week with Watchmen, the Black Freighter, when the corpses were exploding on the beach.
Oh God, yeah, that was really gross though.
So man, yeah, I think the only thing I'm disappointed, like you mentioned, this would be a perfect watch along movie. I think this would be like you and I, if we watched this together, I think we'd have so much.
I wish this was a watch.
So much fun with it. Oh my God, it was so great. So great. So we loved it. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's going to be really divisive. I think you have to.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for everyone.
It
but
could easily be a 1 for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear listeners' thoughts, and I don't know. I'm interested to see. Does True Myth Media have a review of it, Lucas? That's what I need to know.
Don't know, actually. That's a good question. I'm sure it does.
Michael will tell me.
I'm sure it does. If it doesn't, then Michael, get on it because I know you've seen it.
Yeah. Well, with that, are you ready to go around the web?
I am.
I know I am.
Ooh,
maybe you should,
baby.
Maybe you should take your Jurassic Park theme song. We'll just incorporate that into around the web. The visitor center.
Oh, God, nobody wants to hear that. One day, that just on a side note, that is driving me crazy. By the way, trying to understand audio mixing when all these instruments are just fighting each other. Anyway,
this I felt bad because this got left off from last week. This was submitted to us from an awesome listener, coming from 13 ABC. Wham!
Ooh.
Man accused of driving demolition derby into vehicle parked on his own lawn.
What?
So
hold on.
There he goes. Yeah. This is from Springwater, New York. Livingston County Sheriff's deputy said a Springwater man drove a demolition derby car into another vehicle parked outside his house last week. Deputies allege the Stanley Payne Jr. has been charged with criminal mischief. Deputies allege he became irate over the fact that the vehicle was parked outside his house, partially on his lawn, so he drove his demolition derby car into the side of the vehicle, causing damage. He was arraigned and remanded to the Livingston County Jail in lieu of $5,000 cash bail or $10,000 bond. You know, fun fact, Sunday morning taught me all about the bail system in this country and how horrible it is, and how like it's in the Constitution how people aren't going to be, you're not going to be held against your will for, for an extravagant, like they make, there's a point about bail or that in there, but like somebody commits like this most petty crime. Oh, I'm going to set bond at $500,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, what person has that? So then, you have to go to a a bondsman, or
Yeah.
get a bail bond, and that it's no risk for them because the bond is refunded after the trial or after the hearing.
I did
So
not know that.
yeah, so they pony up the money, and then you're responsible. I think it's like 10%. I can't remember what they charge. So then somebody's in, they get it. They don't have a choice. They have to get that to get back out of jail. Otherwise, they're going to be held for however long, and then they're saddled with all this debt they have to pay back off.
Jeez.
Because that's what I always wonder. Is like, how can they afford to just pay off all these pay for all these bail?
Yeah, I never knew that.
And that's how, because the bail it's refunded back out. So it's like a deposit essentially. So Demolition Man,
I like
Destruction
it.
Derby, all that things.
I like it. Who was parked outside of his house that night? That's what I need to know, because apparently they pressed charges.
I mean, they didn't even mention. Did he know the guy? Was
Yeah.
someone just like, hey, I'm going to a party down the street. This looks like a good spot to park my car.
Yeah, I guess just because someone's parked out in front of my house doesn't mean I know them.
Could be some weirdo. I found this on the old internet, and I wanted to share it
Nice.
immediately in Discord, but then I was like, no, I'm saving it for around the web. And this is coming from Engadget. The Pentagon has a laser that identifies people by their heartbeat.
What?
First of all, I guess I didn't know that we all have like completely unique
Identifiable.
heartbeats.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay,
Sounds like
so-
too much work. Like some programmer went to the bother of like making all our heartbeats.
So, it's
Independent.
biometric identification. We've got facial recognition in airports, cars that can be unlocked just by looking at them, technology that detects a person's unique way of walking, and of course, the ubiquitous fingerprint. Next on the agenda, your heartbeat. MIT Technology Review reports Pentagon has developed a laser that can identify people from a distance by their heartbeat.
From a distance.
The technology known as Jetson uses laser. What is that you're
Jetson.
drinking, by the way?
Oh,
is that?
this? Well,
Yeah.
this is a Frosty from local Detroit. Why is that backwards? I still got to figure that out. It's called Frosty. It's a root beer.
Root beer.
It's a root beer.
It looks correct to me. I can read it, so that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Do you have
Maybe
a
I
hamburger?
just don't know
for
how
you-
to-
Do you have a hamburger for your root beer?
Hamburgers and whoopie, okay? I haven't done that in forever.
Jetson uses laser vibrometry to identify surface movement on the skin.
Oh, yeah, I
caused
got
by
that
a
in my phone.
heartbeat, and it works from up to 200 meters away. So everyone's cardiac signature is unique. So there you go. I did not know that. So today I learned. And unlike faces and fingerprints, it can't be altered in any way. So you can't change your heartbeat's rhythm.
Hearts don't lie.
So what about
You know,
that?
they could be using this in the medical field to like early warning signs of heart failure or something, but instead
Right.
we're going to use it in the security sector.
Yeah,
That
we're gonna
makes
fight
sense.
terrorists.
Obviously.
It does have a few challenges. It works through regular clothing such as a shirt, but not thicker garments like a winter coat.
Oh,
So
the terrorist one.
it also takes about 30 seconds to collect the information. So it only works at the target sitting or standing still.
This sounds like one of those shitty video game things where it's like, hold the right trigger and point it at this moving target for 30 seconds so we can identify the scan or whatever. And it's like, cool, this is
Scanning.
Oh, shit,
scanning.
it moves.
Like
These
in,
controls are horrible.
Like in Resident Evil with Jill, and you got to do the hacking.
Oh,
you gotta
God, yes.
highlight.
Yep.
It would also depend on having some sort of cardiac database, but nonetheless, under the right conditions, it's still 95% accurate. So it's something you probably see as the technology further develops. We'd see that grow in
Nice.
scale and ability.
And by nice, I mean that's freaking terrifying.
Nice. And
Nice.
I would be remiss if we didn't mention Dan Anthony, man on the street, had a sweet tweet he shared with us. Fluxtaposed, what a headline. This is from Autoblog, at The
Ooh.
Real Autoblog. The 2019 Mazda USA Mazda 3 is being recalled because the wheels could fall off
Oh,
while
God.
driving. So I don't think there's even mention to go anywhere further than that. The headline says it all. you kind of need the wheels to stay on your car.
There was at least one guy who said, I'm going to drive this until the wheels fall off. And then they left the car dealership and the wheels fell off. And it's
Wheels
like,
fell off.
well, I'm done with this.
Yep.
It was a good time.
So there you have it. Sorry, Mazda.
What are you doing?
Oh,
Good
Mazda.
Lord.
Go home.
Mazda being Mazda.
So there you go.
There you go.
That's Around the Web for this week. We had some sillies. We had some serious. We had a whole lot of fun. And we even learned something.
I'm going to be learning how to change my heartbeat. I'm going to do it right now.
This is my heartbeat, beat something. I don't know how the song goes.
You know what that is or whatever.
Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street. That's right.
You want to do a little...
Oh, no. Wait, no, I don't. No, I don't. Ask me again in 10 seconds. Okay, ask me again.
You know it's coming up, and I'm like, how do I try to give him a better heads up than last week?
I'm still used to OC Remix being right here.
How about now? Do you want to do some What You Playing?
I double clicked it and it didn't go. There we go. Worth the wait.
Hey, I forgot to mention, guys. Fluxtaposed Radio on Volume 5, Sega Does What Nintendo, is available now for patrons.
Yeah, we got a song. Actually, I picked out when you were talking and I wasn't listening. I was getting the song up for the OC Remix tonight.
Perfect. We'll feature one tonight on the show as we close things out. And remember, patrons, you get those early access. Everyone else, later this week, you will get to enjoy the greatness that is Fluxtaposed Radio.
Friday morning, I believe.
We'll have a poll. We'll have a poll up soon. Decide Volume 6. So hold on to your butts. Lucas, my man, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll get through this. I'll get through this. Don't worry. I'll go
Gotta
first.
get through this. I just gotta get through this.
Movies. I do. 2 movies. Ghostbusters, the lady one. That's how I'm just gonna refer to it. I'm sorry. 2016 was it that it came out, I believe.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind it as much as I was led to believe that I would mind it. I blame the internet for this.
Criticism, probably mostly unfair, thrown at it immediately. I mean, because Ghostbusters is
beloved.
Is like one of the stalwarts of nerd franchises. So of course, it's anything that doesn't,
women can never become Ghostbusters. Oh. I don't. Apparently, they turned into.
You sound like Huckleberry Hound.
Yes, exactly. Turned into a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Oh boy, I can't do it if I'm laughing. Oh bother. Yeah, so I give it a 3 out of 5. However, there are 2 things that jumped out at me. One, quite literally, that bothered me. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. You know what? And also I want to say it was actually a little bit more funny than I expected it to be. Like, there's 4 comedians.
I mean,
here,
it better be with the cast that's in there.
And there were times when, it was a little bit funny and a little bit annoying or whatever.
Kate McKinnon's crazy. I'm convinced.
Yes, yes, for sure. She's great though.
She's good.
Little funny quips like somebody says I ain't afraid of no ghost, and then she's like, actually that's a double negative, so you are afraid of ghosts. Little dumb stuff like that. I'm okay with that. That's why I give it a 3 out of 5. It had some heart to it. However, 2 things. Holy saturation. The color on this movie was out of control. Like it was turned up to 11. I had to turn down like the vividness setting on my TV because it was just already really colorful. And then what I already had, granted, I had it up a little bit high to overcompensate, I guess, but, or compensate for the, my TV's settings. I like a little bit of a vivid picture when it comes to color, but this was like people were red and glowing almost. I would have liked to see it in 4K HDR because the effects of the ghosts and stuff really stood out. Like they were these colors of like green and blue that were very ethereal and I don't know. I just thought it would have looked really good in HDR, but I only saw it in regular DR. So the saturation was a little bit high even for me. And then you've seen this movie, right?
Yeah. Yep, my wife.
What do you think?
I watched it.
Very good. What do you think about the aspect effect? The special effects coming out of the aspect ratio letterbox. The like widescreen.
Oh, I guess I don't remember that. I mean, it's been a long time since I watched it.
Okay. It's like I at first I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, and then they kept doing it, and they kept doing it, and then it started happening like constantly. And then in my mind, I'm like, I'm just watching a special effect. Like somebody had to go out of their way to make it come out of the screen like that, and it kind of bugged me a little bit.
I mean, I guess if it just in proxy, it sounds like kind of a cool touch, but then
Yeah, that was
something
my
that
first thought.
I think that maybe overstays its welcome, and then it's just kind of like,
Yes.
okay,
Well, because you're seeing it on black bars, so when you see the them crossing their streams and it's coming out of the proton packs and then it comes through the movie and into the black bars or whatever. I don't know, it just made me look like it made me think I'm watching a special effect instead of a thing that's happening really in the world. The ghosts would do it, the proton streams, the like any of the mist or anything like that happens. I don't know. It was just too much. It was too much of an effect. They overused that. But yeah, 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it enough. I would assume there is probably a sequel. Well, I mean, there is a sequel
actually,
now. Yeah.
well,
Same
now they've
direct.
got no. Well, now the thing is that you've got Paul Rudd attached to another 2020 version of Ghostbusters with Ivan
Yeah, that's
Reitman,
true.
I believe.
Yeah,
So that's going to be back to the, and I'm assuming we're going to have see Aykroyd and Murray at some point in there, and then that's going to just destroy any chance
the
that
fact
that
that that
film.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So
then the other movie I watched was Purple Rain, the Prince directed
never seen it.
vehicle. No, me either. But I was reading the Prince book and I was getting into the music,
Oh, that's
checking
right,
some
you
stuff
were.
out. Yeah, so he's done 3 movies. There's like Under the Cherry Moon and something Street. I don't know, but Purple Rain is the most well known. The one everyone sees the album cover. He's riding the purple motorcycle in the purple
Mm-hmm.
rain on the purple street, and everything was purple, and he lived in a purple world. And Eiffel 65 sang that song. So here's the thing about Purple Rain. It seems like people love this movie. I watched it. Kind of sucks. Like I like Prince's music, most of it anyways. This movie really kind of blew chunks. It's like bad and not. I mean, I guess it could be fun if you watched it with other people who like Prince, but then they would just like the movie and not see it for what it is. The acting is rough. The story could have been good, but there's too many threads. There's a girl who just comes to town looking for a job at this live music place where Prince plays.
That makes sense.
There's Prince who's kind of battling it out with another live band who is more popular, so he's worried that his music isn't as good
Nobody
as he thinks
puts
it is.
Prince in the corner.
Exactly. There's obviously a romance between the woman I talked about and Prince. There's what else is there? Oh, there's his bandmates don't like him because Prince is a jerk and he won't play the music that these 2 girls in the band wrote. There's just all this stuff that's going on. Oh, his life at home, his mom and dad fight all the time and his dad beats his mom. Like just all this stuff. And the story could have been good if it focused on like 2 of those things and really nailed those things down. But instead, they kind of did all of those things kind of badly. At least I felt like. And then, all that to say, I wasn't surprised it wasn't really that good. So I guess my expectations were appropriate. But still, it was a bit rough. I will say, though, that this is the closest I'll ever see Prince live. Like, the
True.
last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of this movie is just a concert video for the most part. Like not a music video, but a live concert. And obviously there's a lot of Prince music in the whole album. Purple Rain is in this movie basically in some form or another. So that's pretty cool. Music's good. And of course it's like a vehicle of time travel right back to the 80s. This was filmed in 1984.
I prefer Chocolate Rain anyway.
Well, I understand. I mean, it's a delicious rain. Purple Rain is just color, man. I give this a 2
out of 5.
Out of 5. Yep. Little disappointed, but whatever. I can say I've seen it now, so I guess I have cred. I have the cred. Do I have cred now? 2 games I played. Yeah. State of Decay 2. I played this today. I played the first one. Basically, this is the same from what I can tell. It's slightly better looking. There's multiplayer now. The map
Well,
is a
is
bit
there
bigger.
less jank?
No, not that I can
Oh,
tell. There's an equal amount of jank. The voice acting is competent, yet the direction that was given was basically, here, read these lines, from what I can tell. Because when people are there's I picked a story. There's like 4 storylines, 4 character groups that you can pick from. I picked ones where they're 2 friends who are trying to make it to this army base. And so they
okay.
get there, and the friend gets bit, and he contracts this blood poison or whatever from the zombies. And so your whole mission up to that point is basically to cure him, because this is something you can do in the game. People can get blood poisoning or whatever, and you have to concoct a cure using parts harvested from certain zombies you kill. It's a whole gameplay loop. When this happens, I never felt like anyone was in danger of dying, because everyone's like, oh man, shit, I just got bit, yo. Like that kind of thing. Oh, we got to get to the hospital and get this guy a cure. Nobody feels like they're really in danger. So that was kind of weird, especially coming off from something like The Walking Dead, where characters get killed off regularly and everyone feels like
Hey,
they're in danger.
speaking of The Walking Dead, did you see that the comic is coming to an end?
Yes, I did. And you said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, well, get to...
It was otherwise it was daunting. You're never going to catch up because that comic's been just coming out for years, and now 193 it'll be done. So I was like, yeah, I can finally experience it.
It was a daunting inferno is what it was. So I'm looking forward to multiplayer with this, though. I want to play with Josh. I talked that poor bastard
That
into
would make it
playing with
fun.
me.
Callow's got it too.
It's got the yeah, but he doesn't play video games. No, actually, he just asked if anybody was playing tomorrow. But of course, 4th of July being so close, it probably not going to work out. But yeah, I imagine we'll play probably next week, hopefully, and then I can speak on the multiplayer. But I don't know, the game overall, you're base building, but not in the casual sense. Like, you have a base, you have plots of land, and you decide what to build there. Infirmaries, beds,
Is there
workshops.
relationship management too?
Only in the sense that people can go
Like
balls to the wall.
Do
and,
people oh, okay.
Like, they go crazy, and then you have to like eject them.
You have to manage like their fatigue and their like.
Yes. You have to trade out characters a lot, because you'll get fatigued, and if you continue to use one character, they'll get over fatigued and they won't be able to run for as long, and eventually they'll probably get killed. So there is like that type of management, but it's not like The Sims where people can't get along or whatever, other than what I stated before. Lastly, Pummel Party. This is basically Violent Mario Party. I played this with Josh. He talked me into getting this, and I've always wanted a Mario Party type game to play that I could play online with people, because I always liked Mario Party. Somebody had brought up Fusion Frenzy, and I remember that game. That game was fun. I think that was the original Xbox. So I was looking forward to this, and it is a solid entry into a party game. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of physics-based violence in the game. So, for instance, you can shoot people with a shotgun on the board. Like, that's an item that you get. And it just looks so violent because you blast them and they go flying off the board and blood splatters everywhere.
So what I saw in the trailer is pretty true to life. It's just like some ridiculous over the top when you kill the people on the board or do something. They're like go flying and blood and.
Yep, and you have to collect keys instead of coins to open chests, to get chalices instead of stars. But it's basically the same. There's even board events like the one we played on. The water rose and turned red, and you got hurt if you were standing in the water. The problem is that it's lacking that Nintendo polish that we've known. There's a lot of times where like the music kind of sucks and doesn't really match up with what's happening. There's a lot of times there's no animation. For instance, even rolling the die to move, Nintendo makes everything, if not fun, then visually interesting or appealing. And
I get that.
Every character, like the way Bowser hits his die is different than the way Mario hits his die. It's very subtle, but it's different. Here, it's just all the same. And, there's really no fanfare to the fact that a die is being rolled. It's just everybody does it the same way and you just move on. So it's lacking that little extra polish that makes people love Nintendo games. So that would be my biggest criticism.
How was the online play?
No problems whatsoever on either
Excuse
of
me.
our ends, I think, honestly.
Was the mini games looked pretty fun.
They
I
are.
mean,
Well, to give you a breakdown, we played a first-person shooter-esque one where not shooter. You basically stood on this ring island and you had to throw barrels that exploded to kind of catch them off guard and throw them into the lava. So you had to be the last one standing. We played
okay.
a Bomberman ripoff, which I hilariously blew myself off immediately and died. So that was fun. We played another one where the lights go out and you have to avoid spotlights and you can't see yourself. You had to count. You had to count like tigers and polar bears riding giraffes and all this other shit. But we didn't know how that one worked because it tells you, but it doesn't really click until you do it. So you're supposed to like use a counter, but it doesn't show how many you're counting because otherwise people could just cheat. Right. So if you're playing multiplayer, so I'm pressing buttons. I'm like, nothing's happening. And then it goes to the final countdown of how many animals you see. And I've got like 23 because I pressed the button 23 times and the answer was 6. So, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. And I think for $9, I got my money's worth and we'll be playing it again soon. So hopefully we can talk some other poor saps into buying it and playing it with us. And that's all I've got.
That sounded great, echoing through your glass bottle. By the way, we started Twin Peaks season 2. Oddly enough, season 2 starts just like season 1 with a big like hour and a half episode for whatever reason.
Weird.
They really dialed up the weird.
I feel like they used to do that in the 90s. Like they didn't in the early 90s and 2000s
this is about as early 90s as you can get.
Right,
so.
and I think they'd always be like a special hour and a half premiere episode for the first episode of the season. I feel like I remember those words.
I was waiting for the show to get weird a lot, and it does, but then they like really dial up the weird with like characters are just more bizarre than what you would think.
Huh.
I feel like there's like some vampire type thing going on. I don't know, and I'm really interested to see like where this leaves off because the show obviously was canceled.
Oh,
so like what plot gets to like kind of does the case get solved, and then how can I watch the Showtime series that came out now? Because I don't think that's streaming anywhere.
Who has Showtime?
Exactly. People, when Dexter was on, people would watch Dexter and then cancel it after the season ended.
People think HBO has problems. Try being Showtime. They ain't got nothing there. They had that Evil Dead show, and then that like got canceled and moved somewhere else.
Was the Wire? No, was the Wire on HBO or was that on Showtime? I don't remember.
That's a good question. I'll look it up.
That's a very popular show for people. So it's good. I mean, there's a lot of episodes, so we'll be getting through this for a while. But I'm happy that we've continued it. It's still like the same things I talked about season 1, the music and everything. It's all right there. And the show I remembered I watched that I forgot.
Yeah.
The Sinner. This originally aired on USA, and now it's on Netflix season 1. I think season 2 is just now starting to air on USA Network again. Stars Bill Pullman and Jessica Biel, and it was good.
Yes, okay. So you did really talk about this in Discord.
In Discord, I did talk about it in Discord. It's really good. Jessica Biel is involved in a murder case, and Bill Pullman's the detective that's trying to solve the case because she just pleads. Well, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give away because I don't think that. I don't know. Let's just do it. The way she pleads to the case doesn't sit right with him, and he's trying to prove her innocence or guilt. I'll say that much.
Interesting.
It's 8 episodes, so you know not super long, and it's really good. It was really good. You get a lot of fake news throughout the show, and it's like you're waiting. The story has a lot of the story goes in circles with misinformation, and finally the whole thing unravels and you figure out what exactly happened, and feels pretty rewarding at the end. So looking forward to what they do in season 2, and I have to say I'm very much looking forward to Thursday because Stranger Things 3 drops this week. So
I'm so annoyed because I won't really have time to watch it until later. But
we will be watching during Aiden's nap. We will be watching when he goes to bed, and I hope to have it done by Saturday.
Jessica watches that with you?
Oh yeah, we binge. We usually get through Stranger Things and we start
Lucky.
it and finish it the next day. We usually watch 4 episodes each night and get
My
through it.
wife won't
Like,
watch. My wife won't watch
oh
anything
yeah,
scary. So
she loves. That's not even scary. It's not even scary. It's
not
creepy,
for
maybe.
not for men
Maybe.
like us.
Tell her to be an
Big
adult
ass
and watch
muscles.
it. Does she like not like fun? I mean,
You know, I'm starting to think that that's true. I should go talk to her about it.
talked about that. And I did. Well, I also want to say I saw probably one of the most hyped Super Smash Brothers matches in a long time that came from
I saw that. You were
tournament
pretty
this
hyped.
weekend. CEO 2019 MK Leo versus I can't remember who he played, but it was great. Anyway,
Banana Man.
my featured content that I didn't expect to get, but then I kind of just bit the bullet. Super Mario Maker 2.
Super
Because
Slopes Maker too.
I had some I had some gift card monies laying around, so I was able to get the game for only $20 out of my own pocket, which is a pretty good deal. And I never owned Mario Maker on the Wii U because I just didn't see myself making, and I didn't know how much the plane would go. So, but I took a stab at it because the single player content is really fun. And originally I was really turned off to this game because of the exclusion of the friends multiplayer. And Nintendo seemed to have indicated they're going to
Yeah.
patch that in, which I think is going to make this game incredibly fun. Unfortunately, right now the curation it sounds like for online and what levels should be played co-op isn't there because it sounds like from what I've gathered from listening to others, when you play online, you're playing with randoms, but you don't get to pick a stage. You just randomly are thrown into one, and that I think that's a bit of an issue. So they need to fix that. But I mean, it's what you expect from Mario. It's snappy, it's precise, and it's challenging. I just really love it. I finished the single player portion. I mean, you have to, you're rebuilding Peach's castle. I completely rebuilt that, 100% of that. There's a bunch of other stages I could still play through, but I have a bunch of people from my other Discord servers that I follow there as a creator, and I just play through their levels as they make it. And who? I have to add that
That's root beer.
is that I think Matt Thorson, who is the game dev behind Celeste, has like 6 levels
Yes.
he's made.
I talked about
and
this on PSVG Prime.
They are hard. I've beaten 3 of them, and I shared one on. I don't think I posted it in Fluxtaposed, but I posted in the PSVG Discord. They are insanely difficult. Like the platforming and the precision is just. I just. It feels great to be able to do it yourself, but I just don't know how you even create something like that. How you like sit there and think, okay, this is the mechanics I want this level to do. This is the progression I want the player to go through, and this is how I'm going to execute it. I don't know how you even get into that. Lucas has stepped away, so I'm just going to keep alliterating here for a little bit. So I'm trying to come up with some ideas that what I can get to as a creator because I really do want to be able to build some levels at some point, but it's like trying to figure out what I want to do, and I'm gonna have to start small because I'm just not familiar with the tools. But I'm really looking forward to kind of dipping my toes into that creation process. But it's really fun to just go out there and see what people have played and give like honest, like at least the way I pursue it, to give them honest feedback on what they've done. So I can't comment too much on the creation stuff, but I'm just having fun playing it. I go through and I hop on the popular levels and just like I've played the most popular level, and it's really cool. It's not super hard. It's just this really cool experience to play through. And I think there's gems like that. And then you've got people that just make stuff batshit crazy difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that they want you to suffer, and that's that's fun to kind of get through too. But it's been interesting. I've played it. I really enjoy it. Super Mario World has to be my favorite genre in that, but it's fun to play through Super Mario 3, the original, even the Super Mario 3D World stuff that's in there. It's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the community keeps putting out there, and it's just been. I think it's nice because it's a game that can continue to be supported, and it's always going to have. There's always going to be new levels to play. People are always going to keep making new stages. So,
and something like that is actually popular enough that they will continue to do that for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen so many people on my friends list at one time in a long time, and majority of them are all playing Super Mario Maker 2.
Nice.
So,
nice.
It's a really good game. So if people are remotely interested in it, if you've been wallowing on it, I'd say pick it up. But if you want to wait, you can always wait for the multiplayer patch. And I mean, it's a good game though. I think so. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So
GG's.
It got me to stop playing Smash for like 3 days. So I think that's like an accomplishment. I did play before the show though. So hashtag still got it. That's all I'm gonna say.
God.
And
Nice.
that's my what you playing this week.
Nice. I like it. It's good
And
to
that's
see something not Smash on there.
right. And hey, that's really our show, right? So I'm interested, this is our second show with the revamped format, the little short. I know we already got the feedback that we're already asking you for, but I'm interested to see how people are kind of like what few changes we started to implement already and see how they like, see if they enjoy the new versus old hashtag choices. I don't know. But hey, that's going to bring the show to the close.
It is.
We're going to kick it off into the sunset with an overclock remix, one that's featured from Fluxtaposed Radio Volume 5.
Hell
So
yeah.
first, let me thank the important people. Then I'll get you some details, and we'll see you next week. Thank you to all of our patrons. Special thanks to our arbiters of awesomeness, Josh Brown, Kyle Heyman, Tyler Rowland, Tom Servo, Matt Knight, our executive of excellence, Edwin Callan, Dude427, and bow before the Crusaders of the Legion, Dan Anthony, Devin Tyus. If you want to help support the Flux Legion on Patreon, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. Flux Legion, excuse me.
Doesn't sound like
I will say, because I announced it here, we aren't doing a giveaway this month, guys, because unfortunately we did dip below that dollar mark on Patreon. So there is not regular.
You know who you are.
Regular giveaways have been abolished until we can reclaim that glorious spot. So then they're just going to be probably quarterly or randomly at best. So please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed for details how you can support the show. And now before we go, or as we go, we're going to play an OC remix. This is Hunger from Splatterhouse 3 as featured on Fluxtaposed Radio Volume 5. Sega does what Nintendo don't. I hope you guys have a great week.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation next week. We might not have a show. We'll see what Lucas feels determined. Like. Yet to be determined. So if there's no show, we're just going to have some summertime fun. Otherwise, Lucas, I trust you to do whatever you feel is right. I don't care. I'm on vacation. See you guys in 2 weeks.
See ya.